and welcome to Nookal's very first Q&A webinar. My name is Ruta. I'm part of the support team here at Nookal, and today I'm going to be your host. A little bit about me, so you might be able to tell that I've got a Kiwi accent, so I'm from New Zealand. I've been working for Nookal for about just over a year and a half, I think. And everyone at Nookal is a remote worker, and have been since Nookal started over 10 years ago. We've got lots of team members around the world, so we're spread around the globe. So we've got most of our team members are in Australia. We also have got some team members in Canada and India, and also the UK. And we recently also had someone in the Czech Republic. So we are quite global, our staff. Sorry about this. This is the biggest Zoom meeting I've ever been to. And I can see a lot of familiar names in attendance, so it's lovely to have you here. I've probably chatted with you or engaged with you before, maybe on live chat, or talked to you on the phone, or maybe engaged with you over a ticket or an email response. So again, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. Also, as you can tell by the attendees, we did have a overwhelming response to this Q&A session. So we actually had 78 responders, so that's awesome. So as you can appreciate, we won't be able to get through all your questions today in this hour session, but we actually still have questions coming in this afternoon. So that kind of tells us there is a demand for these kinds of webinars. So it is something that we are going to be looking into in the future to host some more of these, maybe tailor them to different topics, even maybe have some guest speakers. So it is something that we are going to be looking into in the future. In regards to the questions, so we were overwhelmed with a lot of questions. So we've just selected a few questions from the long list to go through today. If we don't answer your question in this session, we are going to, again, as mentioned, try and set up more of these webinars to address your questions. And the questions that we are going to address today have been rephrased or condensed as we found out. Some of you guys, we've got some budding novelists out there or short story writers, so we had to kind of condense down the questions to get to the core of what you're asking. If I had to read all your questions word from word, it would have had to be a day session, in my opinion. But that's all cool. Special thanks goes out today to Austin. He's the brains behind this webinar today. Also, we will be recording this session. So we will be sending this out to the people who accepted the invite to the webinar today. Alrighty, so let's get cracking on. So the first question we've got today is from Bertrand. Thank you for your question, Bertrand. So he's asked, can I use online bookings on multiple business websites? So excellent question. One we don't get asked often, but something that is definitely something that our clients or customers want to know about. And it is a really easy way to simplify your customers' booking process across multiple businesses or websites or brands. So let's say, for example, you've got two businesses or two locations that you've set up in your Nookal account. So these businesses probably operate independently of each other's. So you want to kind of market them as their own unique website or brand. So typically or currently, our online booking process generates a link for a primary website where it asks the client to choose multiple locations, say for example, Sydney or Melbourne. So when your customers want to make a booking, the first step will ask them, are you looking to make a booking in Sydney or Melbourne? But in this scenario that Bertrand has asked about, we're wanting to generate, so there's multiple business branded independently. Let's say, for example, Sydney and Melbourne, and both have been set up in the same Nookal account as separate locations. So what we can do in Nookal is generate two unique online booking links, one for each website. So that all means that it skips the ability to choose your location. So it'll skip that step and go directly to the location that your client wants to book into. So this way the client is directed immediately to the booking with the business that they're looking for. And this just keeps it quick and easy for both the customer and your administrative staff. So before we go into the details of setting this up or having a look at the process, what you do need to have set up before you can actually do this is have 2 or more locations set up in your account. So I'm just going to share my screen. So if I go into the diary, you'll be able to see I've got 2 locations set up. So I've got the Sydney location and the Melbourne location. And then you also need to have the online bookings feature enabled as well. So if I go to the setup section and under their extensions, I click on online bookings. This needs to be set up as well. So if I navigate to this section here, if I navigate to this section here, you can see that we've got our 2 locations here and they're both active and ready to go. So all we need to do is head over to the generate a link section over here. So you can see currently it's pointing to ask the client to pick a location. So if I click on generate, you can get a preview of the online booking flow. So I'll just go through that. So if I click online or book online, it's going to prompt me to pick a location. So what Bertrand is asking, he wants a separate link for a separate location. So what we're going to do is at the starting point section, we're going to click on the Sydney location. So if I click on the Sydney location, you'll see you can select different types of buttons. So you really probably need to talk to your website developer in regards to what button he wants to use. And then if I click on generate and I go into the book online preview, you'll see it takes me directly to making a booking online to the Sydney location. And if I select, say, the Melbourne location and I generate a link and I click on the book online button, then you'll see it takes us to the Melbourne location. So it's really up to your web designer to choose or decide which button type would be best for your website. And all you really need to do is click on or copy and paste that link and send it to your web designer, and then they'll be able to embed that online booking into your website. So you just need to bear in mind also that the two unique buttons do have their different code and need to be used on your website. So again, you just need to copy and paste that HTML code exactly as you see it on each button as you generate them, and then send it to your web designer to include in your website for your business. Also the same thing or the same technique applies if you've got, say, a separate business. For example, if you've got separate locations, but you have the same website, but your locations have different pages on your website, you can also use that same process as well to create a link for those. So basically this makes it easier for the customers to get to the right page that you want them to be looking at to make their online bookings. So ultimately this is a fairly simple and easy change for you to make on your online booking process. It does have some real benefits for enhancing the customer's online booking experience with your clinic. But also be sure to look out for some future updates in regards to our online booking platform. This is something that we are looking at upgrading soon. And we're always looking for ways to expand the options within the online booking portal. So there is going to be potential for more starting point options in the future to customize your customer experience further. So yeah, that's thank you. So that's Bertrand's question. Thank you for your question. I hope that answered your question thoroughly. Our next question we've got is from Rhiannon, and Rhiannon is asking, why do existing patients become new patients via the online bookings? So in this regard, so all existing clients are able to book online, unless the ability to book online has been disabled. So if I go into one of our client profiles, I'll show you where you can disable that. So I'm in the client's profile now. And if I go into the settings menu, hidden under here, you'll see the online booking option. So you can untick that to stop your client from making online bookings, or you can tick it to allow them to make online bookings. So as long as all the details are exactly the same as what they have in their profile when they do make their online booking, then the system is going to recognize them as an existing client. If your client does get any of those details incorrect, so I'm talking about their first and last name, if they get their date of birth incorrect, or maybe they have a spelling mistake on their email or their phone number, they put a digit wrong, then the system's going to think that they're a new client and they're going to create them a whole new profile. There's a couple of ways to stop this from happening. So in the same page here, you can see that the client also has an online booking code. So each existing client will have this unique code. And when they do make their first online booking, it will be in their confirmation email. So it's basically advising your clients to maybe check their emails to see if they can obtain that online booking code and use that going forward, and that'll stop the duplications. So it's not only found here in the client profile. So if you go to a client's appointment, then the online booking code is also displayed here, which you can hand over to your client to make future bookings. Another option to stop this from happening would be to stop the ability to allow new clients to register when they book online. So to do this, if I go back to the setup section and go into our online bookings section, and I'll click on the Sydney location. So you can see here that in the registration part, it is now blocked. So this has blocked any the ability for any new clients to book online. So what will happen when a new client tries to book online? I'll demo that for you. So I've turned the new registrations off in the Sydney location. So if I click on that, and let's say I put in a new client's details, and then I go next, what will happen is this pop-up message will appear, and it will just tell the new client that, sorry, we're unable to make a booking for you at this time. Please contact us to complete your booking. So this will stop the duplications from happening, and also stop any new clients from booking in. Again, we're currently working on an upgrade to our online booking platform. So just keep an eye on our notifications panel for any updates we have in that space. Alrighty, our next question is coming from Vanessa. So Vanessa's got a question around SMS appointments or SMS replies. So can clients reply by SMS to confirm their appointments? Excellent question. We get this this question asked to us quite often on the support team. So yeah, SMS reminders are a great way to communicate with your clients. So reminding your clients that they have an appointment just before the event has proven to be a way to reduce your missed appointments, and also a great way to get a faster response time. And it has proved to be a faster response time than an email reminder. So in Nookal, there is the option to turn on the ability to reply back to SMS messages and to confirm the appointment or to cancel the appointment. So when you do set up this feature, any responses from your clients' reminders do appear in the notification panel. So if I navigate back to the diary, you'll see our notifications panel down here at the bottom, this little speech bubble. And if I click on that, you can see that I've sent an SMS reminder out to Winnie the Pooh that she's got an appointment, and she's sent back a yes that she is coming to the appointment. So if I click on her name here, I can select, I can confirm the booking here. So this is the booking that she's coming in for. And then if I click on the confirm and dismiss, you can see that the appointment has been confirmed. And if I go into this appointment, I can also tick Winnie the Pooh and then click on confirm and dismiss. To set up this feature, I'm going to navigate to the setup section. And then under the practice heading, click on locations. And then I'll click on the location. And if I scroll down to the options, you'll see that it's already ticked in here to receive SMSs. On a side note, we do recommend that you have some kind of rule around dismissing notifications, as once they are dismissed for a staff member, they're completely dismissed for all other staff members. So having this SMS reply feature just enables you to communicate more effectively with your clients, and it's a great way to save time chasing your clients or getting them to confirm, and gives them the ability to confirm their own appointments. So in the long run, you should see a reduction in your did not attends, or your no-shows or cancellations, or whatever you call them, missed appointment rates, which, as you already know, will be is a costly and inconvenient for any practice or any healthcare practice, as every lost appointment means time's wasted, money and resources are wasted as well. So thank you, Vanessa, for your question. It's one that we are asked about often. Moving on to our next question. So our next question is from Kerry. Kerry has asked, can I export a list of clients per practitioner? For whatever reason you want to export your list, maybe you want to, maybe your practitioner wants to maybe run their own reporting, or maybe send out a bulk email or email message or SMS message to their client base, or maybe do some calculations or run demographics, or perhaps they're moving to another location and they want to export their client database to put into the new location. It is possible to export a list of your clients per practitioner. So to do this, I'm going to navigate to the Manage section. And then under the Data heading, I'm going to click on Export. So you can, up here, you can actually change for all locations, or you can make a selection of a single location to export. And then under the Type drop-down box, you'll see a heading here for Providers Patient Exports, and then you'll see a list of your providers. And you just simply need to select on your provider that you want to export, and then enqueue the data. There's one here I've prepared earlier. So if I click on download, so what will happen, it should say that it's queuing. Oh, there you go. And after it's downloaded the data, it will appear like this to enable you to download your providers seen patients in a CSV format. So if I click on the download button, it'll bring up the file in Excel spreadsheet. So again, you'll get a list of all your practitioners' patients. You can put some filters on there to allow you to filter down the information even more. If you want to send an email, you can just filter out the emails. So yeah, that's exporting the client list for single practitioners. All right, so the next question we've got is from Michael. So Michael's asking, can I highlight an important clinical note? So if you do have an important clinical note or a note which is important information relating to your client, and you want that, that note to be highlighted or pinned to the top of your clinical notes section, you can do that. So what you need to do, I'm going to navigate to one of our clients' profiles. Let's go to Winnie the Pooh again. And then I'm going to go into the clinical notes section and click on the case. So I've got a couple of notes already written here, and if I wanted that to appear at the top of the clinical notes section in a highlighted, what I need to do, you can see to the top right here, there's an option to pin or unpin at the top. So if I click on the pin, you can see that it's highlighted the clinical note and it's turned it to green. So you can highlight as many notes as you like in the clinical notes section. If you want to remove that highlighted note, you just simply need to click on the unpin option. Right, so going on to our next question. So that was pinning a clinical note to the top of the clinical note section and highlighting it. So our next question we've got is from, who have we got up next? Simon. Another clinical note question. So we've got how can I include clinical notes in letters and reports? So we're on the clinical notes section here. So if I navigate to the letters tab and bring up a letter template, and if I wanted to include this clinical note to the right here into the letter, what I simply need to do is put my cursor into the body of the part of the letter where I want the clinical note to go into. And you can see there's a little icon, copy to letter. And if I click on that, it's going to pull that note or clinical note across into the letter. And so that's just a note I've created. So I've got a clinical note here, which I'm going to copy to the letter. And you can see that it's copied the whole clinical note to the letter. If you don't want to copy the whole clinical note to the letter, you can just copy separate sections of the clinical note. So you can see here, you can just copy this section. Copy that chart. So you can select different parts of the clinical note to add into your letter. And if I save that letter, it's going to bring up the rendered version of the letter, and you'll see that the clinical note has been added to the letter. And from here, you're able to either print it, email it, replicate it, and edit it from here as well. All right, thank you, Simon, for that question. Our next question. So we've got a question from Laura. So Laura has asked, how do I include multiple services on a single invoice? Excellent question. This is another one we get asked quite a bit about. So if I navigate back to the diary, if I click on one of the, let's say I'm going to click on Oscar Grouch, and I'm going to generate an invoice from the appointment. If I scroll down to the bottom of the appointment or the invoice, you can see there's an option to add to an existing invoice. So if I click on that, and I click on the plus button next to the existing invoice, you can see that the appointment has been changed to this teal color, just an indicator to let you know that an invoice has been raised on the client's account. And then if I click into the invoiced raised option, you'll see that the item has been added to the existing invoice. So you can see that 2 items are now on the existing invoice. All right, so that's how you add multiple items to an existing invoice. Thank you very much for that question, Laura. All right, going on to our next question. So our next question we've got is from Lucy. So Lucy is asking, how can I sell and manage gift certificates and vouchers? So I know that a lot of our customers do sell gift certificates and vouchers. So what I'm going to show you today is how we set that up in Nookal. So if you've got a physical gift voucher printed or created outside Nookal, and if you don't have it set up already, we suggest that you create your gift voucher as an inventory item. So if I navigate to the setup section and go under the items section into our inventory, you can see I've already created a gift voucher here. And you see I've set a sale price, also a cost price, made this item available across multiple locations, added the SKU code. You can add and remove stock from here as well. And under the advanced heading, there's some more options here as well. So you've got the description of the gift voucher, the supplier, if you want to categorize it, any codes as well. Whether this voucher is active or inactive, and also whether you want it to be used for any client funding. So if your client wants to purchase a gift voucher, for example, I'll just navigate to creating an ad hoc invoice just from the top of the diary here. On the left here, you click on Create Invoice. And select the gift voucher as an item. It's already got the price added there, so when your customer comes in to buy a gift voucher, just go through the same process as invoicing. Let's just say they're going to pay cash for it. And then save the invoice. And then you just need to present the purchaser with the invoice of sale and the appropriate gift voucher. So when someone comes in and presents a gift voucher, so they want to use their voucher for a session or for a service or any inventory that they're buying or being supplied, what you can do is use the voucher payment method. So let's say I'll go into generate a invoice from this appointment, and let's say he previously purchased a gift voucher and he wants to redeem it. So you just need to use the voucher option here in their payment methods. So let's say, and then pop in any references here, and then confirm, and then add any additional payments to this, and then save the invoice. So the sale of the gift voucher does appear on the banking report. The payment using the voucher will appear on your activity report. The payment using the voucher will not appear on the banking report, as the money has only changed hands during the original sale. There's no tracking of gift vouchers between the sale and redemption. So if your voucher has a reference number for tracking, this will be reliant on your business's process to track its validity or whether it's expired or still valid. If the recipient redeems only part of the value of a voucher, and there's no way of tracking that remaining value. So we'd recommend you making a note on the voucher and in any of your records or on your records to keep tabs on those vouchers. If you do choose this method, don't use the add accounts credits to the recipient's account, as these will be tracked as a separate payment and will only appear in your banking report twice. Okay, we've got some other questions that people have been asking through the chat feature in Zoom. So I'm just going to scroll and have a look through some of those. So it looks like we have a question, an extra question from Philip. Philip's asking, where is the provider's patient list generated from? Excellent question, Philip. So the provider patient list is generated based on the appointments with the practitioner. So if a client has had an appointment with a practitioner, then it'll be on the list. Thank you for that question, Philip. Let's have a look and see if we've got any more. All right, we've got a question here also from Pamela. Thanks for your question, Pamela. She's asking, where do SMS responses go? So SMSs are sent out from the mobile and cell phone number, and they are returned on the notifications panel down here. You'll also be able to see the client's response to your SMS reminders in their client profile. If I navigate to the client profile, you'll be able to also see them in the messages section as well here. Thanks for your question, Pamela. We've also got a question from Teresa. Teresa's also asking, are SMS replies charged to the clinic? Good question. No, SMS replies received from the client are free of charge. All right, we've got some more questions here, so just bear with me while I scroll through these. So we've got Bertrand asking a question along with Tim, and it's relating to the online bookings. So what if there are different services at different locations? Excellent question, Bertrand and Tim. So what you can do is you can control the services that are offered at the location by specific provider using the table in the online booking setup page for each location. So if I go into our online booking portal, and if I click on the, let's say I click on the Melbourne location, if I scroll down to the bottom, so this is where you would enable the available services that your providers will be supplying on online booking. So it's just a matter of ticking the boxes to make them available for each of those services, and then saving those. Thank you for your question, Bertrand and Tim. What else have we got? We've got another question here from Hillary, and Hillary is asking, what is client funding? All right, so client funding is related to the NDIS style billing. So rather than managing your clients by the number of approved sessions, you can manage them with the specified total budget amount. And there's more information about this client funding in our help centre. Which I don't know if you guys are aware that we've got a awesome help centre with really good articles. So if you do get stuck on any of the processes within Nookal, your first port of call will be our help centre. Hopefully that'll solve any kind of questions you have in regards to Nookal and its functionality. All right. All right, we've also got a question here from Teresa. Why are we seeing clinical notes are incomplete even though they are complete? So if I navigate back to the dashboard, okay, you won't see this because you won't see the uncompleted notes section because this is a demo account. So if you see uncompleted notes, what I suggest you do is run the clinical notes report to get more detail on those clinical notes. And you'll just need to also tick show clinical notes in draft, because what might have occurred is the clinical note may have been written by the provider, but it wasn't finalized. So it's sitting in a draft form. And this draft form can only be viewed by the author of the draft. So you might not, even though it says that there is a draft, when you go into the client's profile, you won't be able to see that draft. So it's really a matter of, I would suggest running this report first and hitting up the providers who have got their clinical notes in draft form and getting them to review their drafts. Perhaps they started a clinical note and maybe they forgot they started it, so they started another one, and hence they've already completed a clinical note. Also, we've got a knowledge-based article or a help article around this this exact same this process as well. All right, just looking for some more questions coming through. So I can see a bunch of PhysiTrack and integration questions. So we are looking at hopefully continuing on with these webinar sessions and hopefully having some guest speakers from those partners that we partner up with. So yeah, just keep an eye out for our on our notifications panel around any future webinars that we're going to have. So hopefully we're going to address the questions that we haven't answered on this session in future webinars, and hopefully we'll get some guest speakers. Right, I'm just looking again to see if they've got any more questions I can answer. All right, so I think that's all the questions we can get through today in this session. Again, I apologise if we didn't get to your question today. As mentioned earlier, we will be hopefully hosting more of these sessions. It looks like they have proved to be quite popular. Judging from the response that we've had. But again, just keep an eye out for our on our notifications panel and any notifications around future webinars. If you do have any questions about this session, you're more than welcome to send some messages through either jump on live chat, or else you can send an email through to support@nookal.com. We have recorded this session, so anyone who has accepted the invite will be sent a recording of this session. Thank you again for jumping in and joining us for our first webinar, Q&A webinar. Again, we hope to have more of these coming up soon. Just keep an eye on our next one. Yeah, thank you for taking time out of your day to come and join me today on our webinar session. I hope you have found it helpful, and hopefully you've learned something new. We are always trying to improve Nookal, and we are very receptive to receiving feedback from our customers. I know we do get a lot of requests or suggestions around features that you want or features that you'd want improved. So please keep those coming. We do listen to our customers, and we do take feedback on board to help us improve our product. So I think I might leave it there. Thank you again for joining me today. Have an awesome weekend, and yeah, hopefully catch up with you. If not via email, you might catch me on chat, or I may call you up one day. But yeah, hopefully you have a great weekend, and we'll catch up soon. All right, take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.